Well, hello, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box, where today we're celebrating the anniversary of Bob Seger's long-awaited rocket ship to the big time, because it was on this day in 1975 where Bob Seger and his Silver Bullet Band played a sold-out show at the Pontiac Silverdome, home of the Detroit Lions at the time, and this was a great homecoming for a Detroit native who for over 10 years was recording albums, first with the Bob Seger system and then as a solo artist. And he had a cult following, but he wasn't a superstar. He was really one of these musicians whose overnight success took about 10 years, but he never gave up. He always persisted. He was one of the hardest working men in show business at the time, and his writing was consistently good, his playing and singing consistently good, but it was around that time in the mid 70s where he really broke big. Now, why did he deserve this? Well, he was one of the best songwriters who was able to convey very deeply intimate, personal, even dark and melancholic themes in a delivery form that was hard Midwest rock and roll. And that is not easy to do. Ted Nugent, another Detroit native, he had that hard ass rock and roll thing down, but wasn't necessarily able to deliver a ballad. There's really no such thing as a contemplative Ted Nugent ballad. Not to take anything away from Ted, great guitar player, fun guy. But there's no such thing as a Ted Nugent ballad, really. And then, of course, you had the actual singer-songwriters who were able to write great ballads, melancholic, introspective songs, but they really didn't rock. And some of them written at this time even found their way onto the easy listening stations. Bob Seger was able to always rock and rock hard, but he was able to do so conveying a wide range of human emotions, painting with an emotional palette that was as deep as it was wide. And this is why so many of his songs are so memorable, and they because they speak to moments in people's lives. The idea that you're driving alone or walking alone, and all you've got on that car or transistor radio is Night Moves to keep you company, or Main Street. It's just one of those, just two examples of the many Bob Seger songs that you could listen to and say, I'm going to ride off into the sunset to these songs, or I'm going to change my life to these songs. I'm going to do something different. And this song is that human soundtrack to this experience. Against the Wind. How many of us have felt that in life we were either by choice or through compulsion, that we were running against the wind? And of course, there were his straight ahead rock and roll songs. He did a great cover of Bo Diddley, the self-titled, self-manned Bo Diddley song. There was, of course, Old Time Rock and Roll, which is one of those great karaoke songs. But I really think that in general, it was his more emotive songs that are really his best, even later in his career, like a rock, which, yeah, for some, it's famous because of Chevrolet trucks, but it really is a song about that perseverance that helped him go from being a guy who kept putting out albums and kept touring to someone who then was able to sell out stadiums, and someone whose success lasted decades after not only his initial beginning, but after he really broke it big in the mid 70s. So here's a salute to Bob Seger, the songwriter who really rocked and rocked hard, and he had the voice to rock along with it. And he even did a really cool version of Little Drummer Boy for Christmas time, which, as we're all sweltering in the middle of the summer, who wants to be reminded of that? Like, subscribe. We will see you next time. Take care.